Alrighty. First and foremost, thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. I appreciate that. First and foremost, tuning in. Told y'all I was gonna be back. Here we are. I'm sitting here doing another vid. Don't sleep on the kid. That's all I gotta say. Just don't sleep on the kid. But as you can see, we got a different setup. Video producer told me I needed to clean some things up. He told me I needed to clean some things up. So here to have a good time, here to have fun. And so I'm going to be talking about a couple things today. Now, first and foremost, we'll be getting into the NBA playoffs and what I'm thinking and how my predictions are kind of panning out right now. But also, I kind of just wanted to, there's this cat named Morgan Wallen. I know everybody knows Morgan Wallen. I hear about him all the time. But, I'm going to dig into kind of my thoughts on Morgan Wallen because I wasn't familiar with his game. I'm just going to put it that way. I wasn't familiar. What up, Sid? I wasn't familiar with Morgan Wallen's game. So I'm going to kind of get into that too as well. So, yeah, we're going to be talking a little NBA, little UFC 315, and little Morgan Wallen. And I think that'll be it. That'll be that of the video. So, but to kind of jump into it, my last video, I dug in on the Suns, just shared my opinions. I shared my thoughts on things. And I also gave some NBA predictions. And some of them, they're looking okay. Some of them are looking all right. The other ones, not so all right now. So let's just say I got the Eastern Conference completely. I slaughtered the Eastern Conference predictions. Maybe not with the Celtics, but the Cavaliers pick. If I remember correctly, I was a little back and forth. on the Cavaliers and in the Pacers. I said the Pacers are a good team. I didn't know who to pick, and I doubled down on the Cavs, but then the Cavs are hurt, and Donovan Mitchell just got hurt again. Garland and all these cats were out. Garland and Evan Mobley and these dudes were out for game one, so they lost game one, and then they lost game two, but then they stormed back and won game three, and then last night in game four, Indiana put the boots to the Cavs. And boy, was I wrong, and boy, did I doubt the Cavaliers. Not the Cavaliers, boy, did I doubt the Pacers. And I wouldn't even say it was full doubt. It wasn't full doubt, but I went with the number one seed. And boy, am I wrong. Indiana's up 3-1 going into Game 5. When is it? Tomorrow. Game 5 tomorrow, that's right. I went live on my Instagram account last night. Pacers were up 40-something at halftime. If I'm the Cavaliers, I don't know. What do you think? Is it wraps? I don't know. If I'm the Cavs, I'm sick. Again, just injuries. Injuries. And as, I think someone on First Take said this morning, the Pacers' job is just to capitalize off that. It's not their fault that the other team got hurt. And, as a Suns fan, I caught that flack a lot back in 2021 when we made our run. If this team was hurt, if that team wasn't hurt, or if this did, you could say that any season. You could say that anytime. I'm sorry those guys are hurt. But we're still trying to win. We're not going to give you guys, you're not going to take it easy. We're trying to win an NBA championship here. And so I don't want to hear none of that with the Pacers. I think the Pacers are a good team. And, the Cavs are still a great team. And they played through three games with all their guys, and they still lost two of them. So last night, not so much. Looks like Donovan Mitchell's a game-time decision tomorrow. So who knows, man. But Pacers are a good squad, dude. Halliburton, Pascal, the boy. Pacers are just dangerous overall. I feel like they move the ball well. They do a lot of things well. They play great defense. They have guys to match up kind of anywhere. They have guys to kind of match up anywhere with anybody. They can guard almost anybody for the most part. And the Cavaliers, the second best record in the NBA this year. They're no slouch of a team. They have everything as well. They can guard anybody as well, And so they got the bigs, they got the shooting guards, they got the point guard. The Cavaliers have everything they need. And so do the Pacers. And Last night up 40 something. I don't know if Donovan Mitchell changes much of that. Unfortunately for the Cavs, like I know he was hurt, but how much does Donovan Mitchell change in that game? You know, maybe a couple of spurts here and there, but the Pacers, man, like 41 points, like, but you need Donovan Mitchell to score 60, but then at the same time, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I was gonna say. But anyways, Pacers, that pick shot. I picked the Cavs. Pacers, good for them, man. A shout out the Pacers. Shout out Indiana, man. It's good to see. I like it. Cavs Pacers, like I like that. I like they don't really have that superstar. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton's a superstar, right? Donovan Mitchell's a superstar. But like when you look over at the West, you got Jokic, you got Steph, you got I feel like the Cavs Pacers a little disrespected when they get their attention in the media. They're a little disrespected, and so I like seeing teams like that. One of these two is going to make the Eastern Conference Finals, and I like seeing that. Teams that the Cavs were the second best team in the league this year, and did they get the attention? Yeah, but ESPN and all those guys probably talk about LeBron a little bit more. You know what I mean? Where these kind of teams that do really good and that are great, they don't get the love as other teams because they might not have the personalities. We hear more about Draymond fighting. God bless Draymond, great basketball player. But we hear more about the media talking about him fighting than anything else, than we do how the Pacers did this year. Oh, here's a 20-second clip of the Pacers game. So good to see that, man. Good to see that. I like the Pacers. I like the Cavs. I wouldn't mind if either of those teams would make it to the finals, but one of them is going to make the Eastern Conference Finals, which is great. So the other one in the Eastern Conference that I picked, Knicks Celtics. I picked the Celtics. And the first two games for the Celtics didn't go too well. Not good at all. First two games for the Celtics went pretty dang bad. Live by the three, die by the three. And so that I feel like that's what they kind of boiled down to. There was one possession, I think it was in game 2, where Al Horford was wide open under the rim. Just see Jason Tatum wide open in the corner, shooting the three, misses it. Like back in the day. Oh, dropping frames. Stop dropping frames. Still dropping frames. Stop that. Okay, good. Back in the day, if you did something like that, like playing high school basketball, like old heads hate that, dude. I'll tell you that. I don't even want to say old heads. That's kind of disrespectful, but like this new generation basketball is absolutely insane, in my opinion. The threes, the over dribbling, all of that stuff, man. Like it's absolutely. I feel like it's killing the game in some facets. So it's good to watch a team like Indiana or, Indiana, Golden State. Who am I thinking? Why am I drawing blanks? The Cavs, even the Nuggets. Like, there's nobody really super ball dominant. Yeah, Jokic is going to get his. Steph's going to get his. Tyree's going to get his. Pascal going to get his. But like, I think it's really important. What up, Comac? Good to see you, baby. Thanks for tuning in. I think it's really important when teams move the ball. Like, again, like when you watch the Suns this past year, the ball movement was terrible. I remember watching beginning of the season, ball movement looked great. But as the season went on, ball movement was terrible. And so, like, to the Celtics, they move the ball really well, but they move it for threes. Like, they'll shoot an open layup, or Jaylen Brown dunks it, or they're shooting a three ball. So it's crazy. I'm just looking up a stat here. I'm trying to think how many threes Boston shot. I'm trying to see how many threes Boston shot in game 1. Box score. There we go. Boston shot 3-point field goals. 63s. Boston shot 63s in game 1. They went 15 for 60. Okay. Why? Like, why? Like, you're telling me Jason Tatum can't score around? Well, let's see Jason Tatum here. 4 for 15. Why is Jason Tatum shooting 15 threes? Derek White shot 16. Okay, I'll take that with Derek White. So, Jason Tatum went 7 from 23 in game 1, 4 for 15 from 3. So you're telling me he went 4 for 15 from 3 and 3 for 8 inside the three-point line? Dude, it's insane. I hate it. At what point, after maybe the 4th or 5th three Jason Tatum misses, now I got to get downhill. Now I got to attack downhill. Like, and that comes with 5 turnovers, man. Like, I don't know. This new generation of basketball for me, dude, like, I appreciate the hell out of it. You know, I'm not trying to hate too much on this, man, but at the same time, like, that is, you can never tell me that's a great brand of basketball. I'll just say it that way. Like, you can never convince me that's a great brand of basketball. Like, yes, the Celtics just won a championship, but 4 for 15 from 3 or whatever it was, it's absolutely insane. So we're going, okay, game 2. Game 2, and don't forget the Celtics choked it again. They settled for the 3. It was disgusting. It's horrendous. Game 2, let's see. How many threes the Knicks? The Knicks took 31 threes. That's healthy. Okay. Boston toned it down. They shot 43. 10 threes a quarter. Okay. That's not, in today's NBA, like, that's not shocking at all. Not shocking whatsoever. Jason Tatum, there we go. He toned it down. He only shot 5 threes. That's a great adjustment. I believe they lost right at the wire in this game. They were up big. They were up, what, 11 after the first, and then up 9, then up 12. Then they got outscored by 13 in the fourth. I'm pretty sure Jalen Brunson went off. Jalen Brunson had 17 points. Did he go off? I don't know. See, and again, I gave the Knicks their props in my last video. Look, 14 from Mikal, 5 from OG. That's okay. 21 from Cat. Cat had 17 rebounds. 17 from Brunson, 7 assists. And then 23 from Josh Hart. Just he does everything. All right. Then the Celtics, not too bad. 20 from Jaylen Brown, 20 from Derek White, 10 from Drew Holiday, 4 from Horford, 13 from Tatum. And it does not. Kristaps came off the bench, limited minutes. You got to keep that guy healthy, and that definitely hurts for the Celtics. That definitely hurts. But I mean, I think it's just the name. Like, again, like I just said about the last series, like, it's just the name of the game. All right, let's look at the game the Celtics won. Let's look at the game the Celtics won. They stayed at 43s again. Okay, Jason Tatum 5 for 9 from 3, 8 from 20 from the field. Okay. Who else is shooting 3 balls here? They all kind of get up. Peyton Pritchard got 10 up. I mean, that's fine. But like a guy like Jason Tatum, like 15 threes and you go like 4 for 15 or whatever that was, like, and he was probably sick about it after the game, but it's like, come on, man. Like, come on. You gotta adjust somewhere. And a guy in the NBA, it's all discipline. It's all that kind of, it's a bunch of different things. Who am I? You know, I think that's the question I really should be asking is, who am I? Yeah, Mikal had 12. Let's see. Brunson had 27. Cat had 21. But yeah, I think the Celtics, in a game 3 like that, like, you would expect the Celtics to be on their A game, to be on their shit, because they don't want to go down 0-3. They need that game. Obviously, New York wants that game too, but look at Jason Tatum plus 23 plus minus. Derek White plus 29 plus minus. Jaylen Brown plus 29 plus minus. You know, everyone's in the plus. Yeah, actually go look at that game 1. I'm just curious now. I'm going down a rabbit hole. I just want to look at this game 1 plus minus. Yep. Everyone in New York's in the plus in their starting 5 except for OG. Jason Tatum -5. Kristaps 0. Drew Holiday +2. Derek White 0. Jaylen Brown +1. Then -7. Yeah. So I don't know, dude. So I picked the Celtics to start, and I think today's a big game. Today's a big game. They're in. So how devastating if I'm the Knicks? If I'm on the Knicks, how devastating would it be to win 2 in Boston? To win 2 in Boston against the defending champs and then drop 2 at the crib. You couldn't get 1 at the crib. They need to get it tonight, man. But here's the thing. I was talking with someone last night. I was talking with someone last night. And I hate the word fraudulent. I hate the word fraudulent because, again, how can someone like me, who is not in the NBA, I played college basketball, NAI, put some respect on my name. I can shoot the ball. That's about dang it, all right? That's about dang it. I can shoot the rock. Hand a little bit. That's about it. I can rebound. I'm an undersized rebounder. Anyways, that has nothing to do with this. I hate the word fraudulent because who are we, not in the NBA? We don't have to go out in front of thousands and millions of people every single night and be damn near perfect. Otherwise, you're going to get clowned online, right? But this is what we're like. This game 4, we're going to see what kind of New York Knicks team we really have here. This is when we're going to see, did Karl Anthony Towns and did that trade and bringing Mikal in and did those kinds of trades really bring them over the top? And this game 4 is crucial. At home, you won 2 in Boston. You lost 1 at home. That's okay. You're already up 2-1. But you got to get game 4, dude. If you don't get game 4, you're going back to Boston. You better hope you don't lose, because then you're coming back to New York, and you don't want to lose on your home court and not winning a single game on your home court, right? So it's I'm tuning in tonight, man. I can't wait. Like, Boston's legit, man. They lost 2 close games, and the Knicks played pretty darn well, man. But the heat's on the Knicks now. I think the heat's on both of them. I think both teams are kind of in the spot because before last year, what was Boston's MO? They could never get over the hump. They could never beat LeBron. They could never beat the teams going to the finals until they went to the finals, and then they lost to Steph and the Warriors, right? And so last year they played a Mavericks team, which I think Boston was the better team. I'm pretty sure I picked the Mavericks because they were riding hot. But Boston was obviously the better team, and they proved that they were the better team, right? And so their path was a little different last year, and I think they got a very favorable finals matchup. I don't think they were too scared about that finals matchup. Anyways, is Boston here to stay? So this is another game. Is Boston here to stay? They got to get this game. If I'm Boston, we got to get game 4, obviously, for obvious reasons. But to also prove to people, yeah, last year's not a fluke. We're legit. So, I mean, it's get your popcorn out. Get your popcorn out. 5:30 p.m., 7:30 East Coast, 5:30 Mountain Standard Time. I'm tapping into this Boston game. It's going to be a great game. So, anyways, if Boston wins, my pick is looking all right. If Boston wins, my pick's looking good. It's looking good, needless to say. All right, and so that's going to be a great game. And so tonight, now we have Timberwolves Warriors. I picked the Timberwolves. So this one's looking good. Timberwolves up 2-1. Steph Curry got hurt in game 2. Steph got hurt in game 2 or game 1? Steph got hurt. Hamstring. And I've never had a big hamstring problem. I've had tight hamstrings, and it's never fun the day after doing hamstring curls after you haven't done them in a while at the gym, walking out of the gym. That stuff's not fun. So, but a pulled hamstring. He's expected to return on Saturday if they make it that far. But yeah, the Timberwolves up 2-0 right now. They lost their first game to the Warriors. So Warriors got game 1, and we're like, oh shoot. So yeah, Curry got hurt game 1, and Wolves didn't shoot the ball too well, if I remember right. And I'm just looking up a box score here for game 1. Oh yeah, where were you for the Draymond Green game? 6 for 13, 4 for 10 from 3, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, 18 points. Like, okay, Draymond stepped up. Oh, here's Buddy Hield, 7 for 19, 5 for 8 from 3. Why is Buddy Hield taking less threes than Jason Tatum? I think that's the question we need to be asking. Anyways, he had 24. Steph, he didn't play too long. He only had 13 minutes in the game. He had 13. Looked like he was cooking. And Jimmy Butler, 7 for 20, 2 for 8 from 3. 11 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals. Ooh, Jimmy is a good fit in Golden State, dude. Jimmy is a great fit in Golden State. I'm just going to say that. Because he facilitates, he rebounds, he plays defense, and he's like great fit in Golden State. Anyways, Golden State won the first game. Julius Randle had a cold night. Anthony Edwards, 9 for 22. -4, ±. You know, the Wolves didn't play too good. So, but game 2, and I think these have been kind of, I think game 2, yeah, dude. So game 2, Wolves come back, they bust the Warriors. And then game 3 was a slobber knocker. Game 3 was a slobber knocker. Very back and forth kind of game, man. Tied after the first. Golden State up 2 at half. Golden State up 4 after 3. Then the Wolves outscored them by 9 points in the fourth. And let's see here. Anthony Edwards. Or what did he say? I'm the chosen one or something to Barack Obama. 36 points. -4 ±. Interesting. All right. Mike Conley just doing Mike Conley things. A great point guard that gets people where they need to be. Makes the little plays, you know. Rudy Gobert, 15. Only 6 rebounds, huh? Jaden Daniels, 15 points. And then Julius Randle had a triple-double. 24, 10, 12. So we got game 4 tonight, man, and you know, without Steph. So here's what's going to happen. Golden State, you're going to have a Jimmy Butler game. Buddy Hield's going to have another Buddy Hield game. Draymond's going to have 15, 20. Podziemski's going to have to do his thing. Like, I gotta go with the Wolves, man. I know they're in Golden State. They're at Golden State tonight, and I gotta go with the Wolves. Healthy. Anthony Edwards looks like he's been hobbled up a little bit. But what I get out of? But I just think right now with Steph out for the Warriors, I have to go with the Wolves, right? You have to go with the Wolves. So, I think the Wolves get it tonight, go up 3-1. If not, and it goes 2-2, Steph's at least playing in that game 6. And that means we might have a game. So this series has a lot of potential, much like the Celtics-Knicks. That has a lot of potential. Like, we're going to get 2 banging games tonight for the most part, but I bet you that Celtics versus Boston versus New York game tonight's going to be probably the game to watch. I would expect that to be a really good game. Again, we'll see. And then the last one here, we have Thunder Nuggets. And what I say about this series, man, Thunder got game 4 last night. I said this could be a 7-game series. Nuggets took game 1. Aaron Gordon hit the game-winning 3. Let's look here. Yep. Wait, no. Am I reading that right? Yep. Aaron Gordon hit the game-winning three with like 3-4 seconds left. Jokic have 42. Look at the box scores for that one. Game 1 was a great game. This is a great series because it's everything that I said it was. And I hate to be the guy that says I told you so. I really do hate to be the guy who said I told you so. But at the same time here, I said this is a 6 or 7 game series, boys. Aaron Gordon, 22, 14. Oh, I'm in a fantasy league and I dropped him. I should have kept him as my keeper. Michael Porter, 2 points. I don't know what's going on with him. Jokic had 42, 22, 2 blocks, 6 assists. Jamal Murray had 21, 6 and 5. And then Christian Brown had 13 rebounds. Holy smokes, I love that guy, dude. He's awesome. Russ, just doing Russ things, obviously. And this is crazy because the Nuggets don't have a coach, dude. Like, Adelman's there. I believe it's Adelman. They don't have a coach. They fired their head coach like 3 games left in the regular season. Thunder didn't play too well. Shea had 33 on 26 shots. But again, 2 for 6 from 3. Like, he wasn't forcing 3. I'm sorry, Jason Tatum. I'm sorry. Jalen Williams, I love Jalen Williams' game. 5 for 20. Like, their studs didn't play to the best of their abilities. Alex Caruso was their most efficient player. And Aaron Wiggins had the best plus-minus. So, but then, had game 2. Then I'm not even going to look at those box stats because the Thunder just obliterated the Nuggets. And you're like, okay, here we go. But then the Nuggets go to the crib. They're back in the Mile High. 5280. They're at the 5280. And they sneak another close one out. And I believe it was an OT. I think it was an overtime game. I believe. Or was that last night? Anyways. Aaron Gordon doing his thing. Jokic having not his best series ever, but he still had 27, 13, and 3 assists, I guess, but 4 steals, no blocks. Jamal has 17. But then last night, game 4 happened, and another. Oh wait, no, I was looking at the wrong game. So yeah, Nuggets won by 9 at the crib. And then game 4 last night, again, another great game in the 52-80. And the Thunder came out with the dub. So now we have a 2-2 series. We have a 2-2 series now. And what comes out of this is very interesting for me because the Thunder win this. Obviously, they can make the finals because they're only 4 games away if they win this series. But I think they prove a lot as well. So for me, I don't jump on bandwagons quick. I don't. When for example, like a new hot artist comes out, a new guy comes out, drops some stuff. I don't just jump on the bandwagon and be like, oh, this is the sickest person ever. I'll listen to it, I'll appreciate it, but I got to see the body of work over a period of time to be like, okay, I can rock with that. And that's how I am with sports in general. Because you see good teams in the regular season, they crash, they burn, they fall. Look, I'm not even going to talk about the Suns. Anyways. But they beat Nikola Jokic and primarily the same core that won the NBA championship for the Nuggets 2 years ago. They beat them and go to the Western Conference Finals. And who do we have? The Warriors or the Wolves coming out of that. They could definitely make it to the finals, but they prove like, yeah, we're legit. Like, we're legit. Like, we're not just a regular season team. We're legit. And, to be honest, I didn't watch too much of the Thunder this year, but I know they're deep. They got Shea, they got Jalen Williams, they got Chet. Like, they're deep. They're a really good basketball team, but it's like all about the postseason. And truly the best teams and players, regardless of regular season seeding, win the NBA final. So, and obviously momentum and who's hot and who's not definitely plays a role in that. But if the Thunder win this series, They're legit, and it'd be crazy. It would be absolutely insane to see the Thunder win an NBA championship before the Phoenix Suns. But if the Nuggets win this series, regardless if they make it to the finals or not, I think they're going to make some roster changes. I think MPJ's out of there. I think some of those guys are out of there. I wouldn't say Jamal, but I would say never. But if the Nuggets make the NBA Finals or make the Western Conference Finals with firing their head coach a month and a half ago, or a month and a couple days ago, I think that proves how good Nikola Jokic is and how good basketball teams without 3 stars, or they have their 1 or 2 stars and they have the role players around them, like how that's so much better than this. That's the way to be good in the NBA than just trying to flip your roster every year and make big moves, right? Because Jamal and Jokic have had chemistry for years and years and years and years at this point. Maybe 10 years, more, less, a little bit. Aaron Gordon's part of that core. Michael Porter's part of that core. Christian Brown's part of that core. They got Kentavious and Bruce Brown. They're no longer there, but they have other pieces kind of plugged in, right? So I think not only do they prove that they're here to stay, but they're also here to prove that like this brand of basketball works. Moving the ball, trusting each other. And I think it also shows to how good of a leader Jokic and Aaron Gordon and even having Russell Westbrook in that locker room are, while in the absence of necessarily like not having a head coach, because the Adelman guy said, hey, I'm going to let Jokic run the show, or I'm going to let the players kind of do their thing. Like, I don't want to mess this thing up. Like, I'm not going to get in here and switch everything up on these guys. And I respect that as a guy kind of in a tough spot in general. I respect that. And so I think it's going to call to like how good the leadership is in that locker room, and how like you don't got to go under the second or third apron or whatever it is and load up on stars to win NBA championships. You got to keep your dang core, and you got to just ride it out with these guys. Remember the Spurs? You remember those guys? They did that all the time. Yeah, they had pieces kind of come in and out, but they kept their core, right? Remember the Mavericks when they won their chip? That Jason Terry, Dirk, Barea, Kidd, that core had been there for a while. They didn't just move, like they moved some pieces in and out, but like that kind of stuff works. And with some teams like the Lakers or the Suns, for example, you just have so many guys filtering in and out, like you don't really have time to establish a good culture or a good core or team chemistry. We talk about team chemistry through the 82-game regular season, but what about team chemistry over 5 or 6 82-game seasons? You might not win a ring every single dang year. You might lose in the first one year. You might lose in the Western Conference one year. You might lose in the finals. But guess what? If you do it the right way, get the right pieces in and out without exploding or imploding the whole thing, you might get a couple championships out of it. And I think if the Nuggets win this series, I think they can definitely make it to the NBA Finals. If the Wolves come out on the other side of that Golden State series, I think they're constructed to take out the Nuggets because they have. I mean, let me bring it back. I think the Wolves constructed their team knowing that they're going to have to play a guy like Nikola Jokic or an Anthony Davis or these bigs and really good guard play. And I think they constructed their team specifically for a team like the Nuggets. And I think they can give the Nuggets a lot of problems, as they did last year. The Wolves beat them last year, obviously, to get to the Western Conference Finals. But I'd like to see that matchup again. But to wrap this all up, I picked Denver. I picked Denver in 6 or 7, and it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen in terms of how many games it's going to go. But we'll see. We'll see. So that's my NBA talk. My picks are looking all right. The Cavs one's gone. Cavs are toast. Celtics, they got to win tonight. That's going to be an amazing game. Wolves, they got to win tonight to go up 3-1. And then we got game 5, Thunder Nuggets tomorrow, I believe. And so I think that game's going to be obviously be a big game to see which way it's going to sway or not. If the Nuggets can go win in Oklahoma City, oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. It's going to be dope. It's going to be dope. So that's my NBA talk. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think in the comments if you even watching this, or I know. Well, that's the problem. That's the problem. When I'm on here, I get on, I upload the video, and I see, oh, you got 100,000 views, and yada yada. But no one's commenting. Why are people not commenting? I'm getting all these views. I'm getting likes, but people don't want to comment on my stuff, man. Come on, you gotta let me know if you're agreeing or not. But if not, it's okay. I'm all about personal boundaries. I get it. I get it. So, anyways, last night was Mother's Day, and I just had a baby. Well, my wife had a baby. I helped make the baby, but my wife had a baby. So yesterday was her first Mother's Day we experienced, and we're driving in the car. We were in about a 30-minute drive, 45-minute drive out into the mountains. We're gonna take our dogs and our baby on a walk because that's what my wife. Do what your wife wants you to do. It's her day. Her day. Rightfully so. But I was like, I'm not gonna play my hip hop, like all this stuff. Like she don't really like she likes the music, but she's like, you play the song, but I'm like, I really don't. Like, all right, I'm gonna put on a little Morgan Wallen. And a little background on my music taste. I grew up in Montana, and I've never really been big on country because for a couple things, it wasn't really my lifestyle living in Montana. I didn't grow up on a farm. I didn't hang out with people who had cows and this, that, and the other. I didn't have the big souped up trucks. My grandpa drove a car. I grew up in a basketball gym. I played basketball, and in the summer I played baseball, and I played football, and then it just the constant cycle of sports. So that was my lifestyle. We would hang out around town, run around, sneak out, go cause chaos here, there, anywhere. Like we didn't do things too bad or anything like that. I just didn't, that was my lifestyle. So I listened to a lot of rap, listened to some rock. My grandpa grew up in Cincinnati, and he's old school, so he put me on, Temptations and, all these kinds of, like all those kinds of people, like everything but country. And my grandpa, he grew up in Cincinnati, played Division I basketball for University of Montana State, but stayed in Montana. He never went back to Ohio. And I remember one day, he wasn't playing his normal music. He was playing country. And I was like, dude, why you got this on? He's like, you got to have some diversity. You got to be able to listen to a little bit of everything and appreciate a little bit of everything. Like at that time, I was like, I can appreciate anything but country. Anything but country. And I like some country. I really do. I have a boy, Hunter Heffley, who used to be my co-host on here. Rest in peace. I wish he'd come back on. Anyways, I'd go up to his cabin, and his family's from Texas. We would, listen to some John Denver. We would listen to some Kenny Chesney. We would listen to, the whole shebang up there. No hip hop, no rap, but I could kind of get down with that, a little bit. But I just never really could ever get into it because, for one, it was like something that didn't really match my lifestyle, if that makes sense. Like, I couldn't sit there and listen to a country song and be like, oh, yeah. No, that wasn't my life. In my life, I've seen some crazy stuff. It wasn't portrayed in a country song. Probably in some country songs out there, but anyways, they listen to it. But anyways, to bring it all together, I'm driving out there with my wife, and she's from a small town in Montana, and she does like country. She likes everything. My wife probably has a very diverse, I give her crap for it because she's from a small town, and I pretend small town people don't have that kind of diversity. in their music, but she does. I was like, I'm gonna play a little country music because I heard this little song from that was made by Morgan Wallen and Post Malone, and yeah, Post Malone does country now, and I think Post Malone does great in the country scene. Post Malone's he's a very talented fella, dude. He really is. Anyways, and I was like, okay, I kind of can get down to this. You know, I forget what song it was. You know, I'm on Spotify, and Spotify has this AI thing. It's like, hey, let's try something new for your mix. Like a little AI DJ. And that little tune came on, and I'm like, what? Like, oh, like, I get down with this. It's Post Malone and Morgan Wallen. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to turn on Morgan Wallen, and we're going to because I know my wife listens to Morgan Wallen. I'm going to turn on Morgan Wallen, and we're going to go on our drive, and that's all I played the whole time we're in the car. He has a lot of music. And I was like, wow. This is some country I can get down to. Modern country. Now, I don't know many country people out there making music, you know what I mean? Supposedly Beyonce makes country music. I don't know. Anyways, sorry, Beyonce. Thank you, Beyonce, for this reward. Or award. Thank you, Beyonce, for everything you've done for me. Anyways, Morgan Wallen's that guy, dude. He's that dude. I can get down with that kind of country, man. I don't know. Just like hip hop, there's different versions and ways you can interpret it and make hip hop. I'd assume it's the same exact thing for country music. And whatever kind of country music Morgan Wallen makes, I can get down with most of it. I can't, some of it I'm like, okay. It's just like some of the country, it's like sad and singing about girls all the time, all these kinds of things. Like, okay, whatever, man. Like, mix it up. Seems like Morgan Wallen did that, and he's around my age, so I think I can kind of gravitate that a little bit more. So Morgan Wallen's that guy, dude. I'm gonna be tapping in, and maybe I was thinking, I was driving in the car, and I was like, I might have to take Sid to a Morgan Wallen concert because you know what? I might actually enjoy it. I feel like going to a Morgan Wallen concert, it's like if I went to a Kendrick concert. It's like that big and massive, and honestly, maybe bigger. I don't know. I know a lot of people like country and not a lot of people like hip hop. So I don't know. Who knows? But Morgan Wallen's that guy, and I'm gonna keep tuning in. I'm gonna kind of start formulating what can I take out of this little country scene that I can enjoy and interpret. So, alrighty. Anyways, thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate you. Have a good day. Have a good week. Hey, tune in. Next Celtics is going to be a great game. It's going to be a great game tonight. 5:30. 2 hours. Peace.